welcome back to the Now Morning Show. It's 20 minutes to the hour of 7 o'clock. And as always, on a Monday, we have a resident artist on set as we continue our collaboration with the Art Society of Trinidad and Tobago. Joining us this morning in studio is, I'll say, a multifaceted artist, Antonio Butts. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. You? Pleasant.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. So happy to be here.
And we're happy to have you here. Thank you from all of us and, of course, everybody watching for this incredible artwork that we have on set this morning. Now, your story is one that is inspirational and I'll say also transformational, not just for you, but for those who hear about it and those who are perhaps interested in getting into the creative field. You've been self-taught, Antonio, since the start of this journey. What inspired you to pick up the brush?
Well, it's a long journey. When I first started, I really discovered my feelings for art before I was age 10.
Okay.
And then I realized, I said, this is what I want to do. You know, I was going to Catholic church, the cathedral in Guyana, which I born and grew up in. And my aunt would take me down to the cathedral. And so I just asked her for a brush and pencil, and I would draw the statues in the cathedral. And then I realized that it was something I wanted to do. You know, and then my first assignment I got from someone said they wanted a vase of flowers. I painted it. I gave it to them. I wasn't 10 years yet, you know, and I was like, wow. I was amazed. I got $10 to that. I was like, wow, I don't know what $10 was like, you know what I mean? But I just got $10, you know, like, okay. And that's where I started. I started to draw things from comic books, you know, different superheroes and so on, and I continue doing art.
Now, from that today, one of the things that is definitely quite special to your work is reflecting the Caribbeanness, your Caribbeanness, our Caribbeanness as well. Where did that inspiration come from? Was there a moment that made that happen for you?
Well, that is a journey from my ancestors. I grew up with a mixed race, you know, Portuguese, African, and Indian. And it was all in the household. Yeah. And I see that our culture, it is more or less the same. We just by borders, different countries politically. And what we passed through from the colonial areas, we were divided, you know, and then people start to realize, no, look, this is not what we wanted. They divide us particularly because they didn't want us to come together as one. And our cultures, I discovered, were the same. You know, Guyana, Trinidad, Barbados, Jamaica, and so forth. We had these similar cultures. And if you take, for example, like in Trinidad, you call the Dame Lorraine. Yes. In Guyana, it's called Bum Bum Sally. You know, and the different names, you know, we have the, what you call again, the larger bless. Yes. You know, we have it too in Guyana. So in other countries, there's similar things, you know, jab, and so forth.
So the beautiful thing about...
Yeah, well, cultures are more or less the same. They're just divided, we call it different names. So all is this Caribbeanness. So that's where I adapted that, and I feel that we should be sharing the same cultures.
Now, the beautiful thing about what you just shared is it is also reflected in your journey because in your first solo exhibition, of course, that happened at home. And since then, you have exhibited on a global scale, including Cari Festa. How did that first experience shape you and prepare you for the future?
Well, I was always determined to learn as much as possible. My institution, the school I went to, the college, we didn't do art there. And I would take myself and go to other schools, Queen's College, you know, centralized schools, and so ask the art teacher to come be in the class, and I would go into the classes themselves and started to pick up from there, you know, and my journey started from there and joining other schools and so, you know, and teach and as well as learn. You know, so that's where my journey, and I keep going and going all the time until I get there where I want it to be.
No, Antonio, that is something that is so special, because the fact that you are always pressing to learn, regardless of time and space, is what has not just made your contribution in the art form here so special and also connected, but the fact that you are also quite active in the creative arts realm within the region. You also sit with TUCO and you judge with the NCC. Do you think that your experience with art has helped you to sort of mold yourself into that calling of being an adjudicator?
Well, yes. I mean, since I was in Guyana as a child, I was involved too in the creative section of creating. We had in Guyana we have something called Mashamani, and I was with a guy named David Lanny. I was working with them, just as a young teenager. Hanging around, I was into the theatre guild. I was asked to design sets, doing makeup and things like that, background, dancing, and everything in the creatives, So I was molded from that when coming to Trinidad, going to Suriname, having exhibitions there, also to going to United States, working at galleries, and so, so all that has molded me into who I am today.
Beautiful. Do you have any words of advice for the younger ones who are watching and would love to be able to be involved in almost every aspect as you are?
Sure. We all have a creative, what you would call it, creative, heart in us that we want to do something, but we don't know. I have seen prisoners' exhibition, and it strikes me is that these people didn't know that they were very creative until they were incarcerated. And I see the work of fantastic, I couldn't believe it. And they said if they only knew that they had such talent, they would have never been involved in crime. And it really inspired me to see these people have fantastic work. But the only sad thing I just realized that they don't advertise about it. They just have the exhibitions and the people come and see the work, So I wish they could be able to do more and encourage our youths, to be able to get into the arts.
Something that we can all work towards encouraging, that is for sure. And hopefully work like yours, us here having this conversation, can be that proponent to start. So let's start with the artwork that we have on set. Again, thank you so much for loaning it to us for the week. We're going to start with this one that's right next to me here. What is the name of this piece? I mean, all the details, because it's absolutely beautiful.
This one, the first one, is Behind the Mask. Now, it was inspired by Leroy Clark painting, who was a friend of mine. One of his drawings, I saw a mask that he had there. And I just said I wanted to do something behind the mask. It comes from our cultures. What is there we're hiding? Sometimes people will feel that, look, I want to say something, but it's something I want to keep behind me. I don't want to say much about it. And it depends towards something what we pass through from our ancestors. They have things that they didn't want to portray, they didn't want to say to the generation or the younger people what they passed through. And many times the people have things that they don't want to talk about. So that is all behind the mask, really. So it's more cultural. Most of my paintings have a narrative in it. They tell a story about something about our culture.
Yeah. And we can see that as well. It's beautiful that it's not just, at least from what you've shared, of course, artists, everybody has a different interpretation. It's also giving a voice to those who may not necessarily have that voice or feel they have that voice. Let's go on to the next piece that's on set with us this morning. What is the name of this piece, and how long did it take you to create this?
I get that question lots of times.
Yeah.
People ask me, how long did it take you to do this? It's sometimes difficult to answer sometimes. Sometimes I start in a piece.
Right.
And when I feel inspired, I work in it. And sometimes I don't get inspiration. I live each piece that I do.
Okay.
It grows up with me. It's at the foot of my bed. When I was working, I would always tell people, look, I'm come to work here, I am on a vacation. I'm on vacation for 4 hours, 8 hours a day, whatever it is. And when I reach back home, I go into paint, and my work takes a lot out of me. I like to get into it. This one, I did it in New York. I was there spending some time with my sisters, and I went to the store, and I saw a piece of bamboo, because I couldn't get the thing. So a bamboo board, and I decided to do a piece on that. Took me some time. When I came back to Trinidad, I finished it. So it doesn't take, takes sometimes about months, but the idea is there.
So you said that you lived the experience of the painting itself. So a painting like this, and with some of your other work perhaps, is it a case of you may think you're finished, but something may happen that may inspire you to go back and add something on?
Yes.
So with different layers of telling stories is absolutely beautiful. So this next piece that we have on set is something that, will resonate with many of us, of course, but what's particularly interesting is you have a similar pattern detail. What inspired that? This is the drummer? The spiritual Baptist drummer, is that the name of the piece?
Oh, yes. Yeah? Okay, that one, I was walking on Frederick Street, and I saw the Baptist woman playing drums, and it fascinated me. I stand up for a while, and a friend said, what's happening? What? Let's go. I said, no. Something about this woman playing the drums, I wanted to capture that. Something about that hit me, And the way she was playing the drums, I wanted to do something about it. I don't know what it was, but I went home and I did it. I had a piece of board like that, and I wanted to fit her inside of that. I wanted the energies and everything to come out in the painting. Matter of fact, it's pyrographic. Pyrographic, or wood burning, you call it.
Okay. And can you break down for us what that is?
Pyrographic is using something like a soldering iron, and you burn the wood.
Oh, so this is a wooden piece?
Yeah, it's wood. Burned in wood, yes.
So then what medium do you use to get the colors?
Well, I painted it as a mixed media. After I burned it, I use paint and painted the background and so.
Okay, and our final piece that's on set for the week, this beautiful stands out black and white piece. What is the name of this piece, and what message do you hope people receive from it?
That one is, it's a lot. It goes back to my ancestors, my grandmother. The name of it is O Porte Benito. I mean, black is beautiful. I grew up in a home where my grandfather was Portuguese, my grandmother is African, so I wanted to bring it together, and something about her, I like the serenity of it, the thoughtfulness in the subject. I sit one day and just painted this. It gave me a deep feeling of bring back a lot of memories to the family.
Was there any particular reason you would have chosen it to be an oval shape?
No. The reason why I say that is when I get a material, I'm going to utilize it in some form or the other. I don't know what form it is, but I work with that.
And of course, this is why you live your art,
yes,
which we see.
I live it. I'm very passionate about what I do. And I usually, sometimes, I still do it. I go to various schools and I talk about my work. I help teenagers, children, different classes and so. I also go to youth clubs. I also do it in other countries too. I do it in Guyana, United States and so forth. And I plan to go there again. And every year I usually go and exhibit with the indigenous people there in Guyana.
Antonio, for those who are interested in getting in contact with you, where can they reach you?
Well, my name is, type in, go on the internet, in AI, just look for Antonio Butts, Trinidad, and all information will come up about me.
Well, Antonio, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for the beautiful artwork on set.
You're welcome.
And thank you, of course, for also your global service. That is Definitely, for sure. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you so much.
Antonio Buds here with us this morning on the Now Morning Show, resident arts on set for the week. Stay tuned. There's more coming up after this break.
From you come all material things. To you all things material go return. Use the heartbeat of man survival. Mother Earth, provider of food when I hunger. Fountain